opening remarks. And we will start with Nicolas Sendrovitz. He is Deputy Head of Unit in DGNIR in the Unit C1, responsible for Georgia, Moldova, and the Economic and Investment Plan for the entire Eastern Partnership region. Nicolas, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Thibault. Wow, that was quite a build-up to my opening remarks. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to all the people who are taking part this morning, all the members of the Mayors for Economic Growth Network, as well as the colleagues from delegations, UNDP country offices, and partner organizations. Let me start by stressing that Mayors for Economic Growth is one of our main flagship initiatives to support economic recovery and resilience at local level. And we just started the second phase of this initiative with the UNDP in the midst of a COVID-19 pandemic. You may remember that, and this initiative is all the more relevant today in terms of supporting economic recovery and resilience at the local level in the face of the Russian war of aggression against Ukraine. So the objective of this network is to empower municipalities so they can become active facilitators of growth, economic growth, and job creation. And this requires taking more innovative approaches to local economic development, building partnerships between local authorities, the private sector, public authorities, and civil society. And all of this is a prerequisite to the Build Back Better approach, but also unlocking the potential of the green and digital transitions, which you know we are very strong in promoting. Maybe if I could highlight a few of the milestones of our cooperation in the last few months. Firstly, that we were extremely quick to repurpose parts of our activities to address the emergency needs in Ukraine and in Moldova following Russia's invasion of Ukraine and the subsequent refugee crisis. And we recently signed a top-up to scale up our support to the municipalities which need it most in both of these countries. Secondly, we are extremely happy that we can count on a strong network of more than 360 municipalities across the region. In addition, we have more than 40 municipalities in 5 countries which have been selected to benefit from funding opportunities, as well as mentoring to implement large-scale pilot projects, prepare for portfolios of investments, or to test innovative ideas. Today, I'm extremely glad that we will be launching a key component of this initiative, which is an online peer-to-peer platform, the Urban Learning Center. With this platform, we want to increase the opportunities of cooperation and peer learning between members of our network and with our partners. We will also be presenting a new generation of local economic development plans, the LEDPs, with the help of our partners such as Arup. And these are going to help cities move from linear solutions to a portfolio of options, making cities and towns more attractive for people and investment. Finally, let me stress that our work fits in the wider context of the deployment of an economic and investment plan for the Eastern Partnership region, which we launched last year. The plan is worth some 2.3 billion euros of EU money and has the potential to mobilize up to 17 billion euros in public and private investments in the next years in cooperation with the European and international financial institutions. This economic and investment plan contains a list of country flagships, which are investment priorities in a variety of different fields, such as economic transition for rural areas, investments in the competitiveness of SMEs, or in the green and digital transitions in each Eastern Partnership country, as well as quite a lot of connectivity projects. Through Mayors of Economic Growth, we can facilitate the implementation of the plan by preparing meaningful investment projects at the local level and by involving a wide range of actors, such as the private sector and civil society, in the design of projects. So in conclusion, let me thank the members of the network and encourage you to proactively take advantage of the opportunities offered by the initiative in cooperation with our colleagues from the delegations and the UNDP country offices. Let me also thank the UNDP colleagues for organizing this event, as well as your program manager, Thibaut. I wish you all fruitful discussions today. Back to you, Thibaut.
Thank you very much, Nick, for these opening remarks. I would like now to give the floor to Mr. Gerd Frogman. He is the manager of the UNDP Istanbul Regional Hub, the orchestrator of this initiative. Gerd, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Thibaut. Good to see you again, and good to see you, Nick. Greetings from Istanbul to all of the colleagues, friends, and partners online, local authorities from Azerbaijan, Georgia, Moldova, and Ukraine, colleagues from the EU delegations, UNDP colleagues in country offices, and partner organizations, technical partners. Greetings to all of you. Let me perhaps expand on a few points that Nicholas made, repeat a few points as well, because I think they are really shared priorities and shared issues that we are working on as part of the strategic partnership between the European Union and UNDP in terms of supporting local authorities. The Mayors for Economic Growth really is a facility to help local authorities and all the members of the emerging network to explore new trajectories of growth and increase the vibrancy of cities, towns, and communities. And it does so against a background of unprecedented uncertainties and complexities, quite different a scenario from what we have seen 5, 6, 7 years ago. And, you know, a scenario which has a lot of strain on public finance and public budgets and requires a different way of thinking, a different way of approaching the issues at local levels. So in this second phase now running, as Thibaut said, which started in 2021, the Mayors for Economic Growth facility implemented by UNDP aims to go beyond business as usual and focus on approaches, on tools and mindsets to be more future ready. The question that we ask really is how do we transform our cities and towns to be greener, to be safer, to be more inclusive, to thrive, and to attract more financing at their level, at the local level. This approach really requires a much stronger focus on learning and on adapting to changing contexts for both for municipalities and for all development practitioners who form part of these activities. The Urban Learning Center is a key component in that regard under the Mayors for Economic Growth facility. It is designed to offer learning opportunities to all members to boost a green and digital transition of our communities and economies. The ULC will offer online and in-person learning opportunities and will focus not only on the what, but also on the how. How do we shape our future proactively through foresight, through strategic risk-taking, community listening, sense-making, and adaptive management to stay relevant in a rapidly changing world and environment? We're really looking at a growing movement around urban transformations worldwide, with cities as organic places constantly changing and transforming, leading in a way that the approach to promoting innovation and experimentation on the ground, creating alternative responses to ongoing challenges. And this movement, if you wish, is accompanied by a growing trend, hopefully trend also from a UNDP perspective, about rethinking development, about how we move from linear projectized work to a much more adaptive way of working to effect transformative change, away from the compartmentalized, projectized environment in which we used to operate across the board, not just UNDP and the EU, but all development-focused organizations at large, I would say, face a similar type of dilemma in this regard. Moving away from this linearity as part and parcel of what the Mayors for Economic Growth facility trying to do. And in that sense, it really is much more than a project. It is from the onset conceived between the European Union colleagues and UNDP colleagues as part of a strategic partnership, and as a, if you wish, as a sandbox to test new ways and alternative ways of working. I would really like to encourage, as Chris already did, as Nick already did, all the local authorities and members of the network connected to this call and all partners to continue to leverage the facility to create synergies with other relevant partnerships and explore ways to scale as results and as lessons and learnings are emerging. The Mayors for Economic Growth really is a broad and open platform, looking inside the network and outward for inspiration and for learning. So with my thanks again to you, Thibaut, and to Nicholas, to all the colleagues in the European Union for this, for the strong continuing partnership, but also with our appreciation to all the local authorities, EU delegations, and UNDP colleagues connected. I wish you a really fruitful, interesting launch of this ULC, and hopefully we'll see the first real results coming out of it in the spring. I believe next year. That's the plan, to have concrete points on the table that we can jointly look at. So over to you, Thibaut, with big thanks to everybody connected to this call.
Thank you so much, Gerd, and it was a very, very clear and very inspiring message at the same time. I suggest now that we move on to an introduction video to the Urban Learning Center to better understand what it entails. So yeah, let's start the video.
Are we muted?
Learning is an innate human ability. We learn from what we're being taught and what we experience. That learning shapes our behaviors and increases our capacity to adapt to and shape change. Today's challenges are unprecedented, and learning from best practices is not always sufficient. New learning approaches and tools are needed to shape cities and towns to be more future-ready. The Mayors for Economic Growth is a joint initiative of the EU and UNDP and an invitation to reimagine urban and local spaces for positive, transformative change. The Urban Learning Center, under the M4EG, provides learning modules, resources, peer-to-peer support, and mentoring on current urban challenges. It will also enable learning for each other. When we learn as individuals, our organization learns. When we share our learnings, others can benefit too and reciprocate, accelerating the transformation process. The learning centers focus on the needs of local officials wanting to make a difference in their cities. What mindsets are needed for the future? How thriving and smart is your city? How green is your transport? How inclusive and vibrant are public spaces? How is your city bringing together public and private partners in shared visions? To answer these questions, the Urban Learning Center combines learning from all programs under the M4EG. The M4EG finds that municipalities with a mindset of investing in continuous learning, experimentation, and collaboration will be more future-ready. Visit the M4EG Urban Learning Center and start a positive, transformative change for your city or town now.
Thank you, colleagues. If colleagues, if I can ask the interpreters to mute this. Thank you so much. Thank you for this video. So as you have seen, this Urban Learning Center is really a platform to bring all the opportunities under Mayors for Economic Growth and to give you both online and offline learning possibilities. So we would now have a presentation by Tina Stum. She is the regional lead of Mayors for Economic Growth at the UNDP regional hub in Istanbul, and she will explain what is really what the Urban Learning Center is about, and what how the members of the network can take advantage of this new innovative initiative. Tina, over to you.
Thank you, Thibault, and greetings everyone again. I hope you can still hear me. Give me a thumbs up if so.
Yes, we can.
Super, thank you, Thibault. So as many of you know, being members or partners already of the Mayors for Economic Growth, the overall focus of the Urban Learning Center is, of course, completely aligned with the overall focus of the Mayors for Economic Growth, phase 2. And as you know, in the phase 2, we're really asking questions around how can municipalities and partners become orchestrators or active shapers of positive transformative change at the local level. So we're asking questions around how can we together become more future ready, and compared to phase 1, we're looking, in addition to economic opportunities, we are also looking beyond that, asking question around what is it that make a city or a town attractive? What does it mean to have a vibrant community? So looking not only at the standard of living and let's say job opportunities, of livelihood opportunities, but also what is the quality of life in this place. And innovation is really at the center of the second phase of the Mayors for Economic Growth, not just technological innovation, but also social innovation. So what are the types of innovative methods, tools, approaches, and mindset that we together then with the municipalities can become more future ready? Next slide, please. And where then does the Urban Learning Center, a key component under this new phase, go back please to the previous slide. Thank you, Samira. So where does it sit then within the within the Mayors for Economic Growth? So as many of you know, we have two ways of engaging. As a member of the Mayors for Economic Growth, one has two ways of engaging. The broad approach is open to all members. That is a national, but also a regional network that now counts to more than 360 municipalities or members. So these are really open national platforms for discussion and peer support, learning together. And then as part of that now, that will be open to all members, is then the Urban Learning Center. So anything that is available online, but also in country, in person, will be available to all the members of the network in the 5 countries. Now, we also have the second way of engaging under the Mayors for Economic Growth, which is what we call for the deep engagement. So these are the selected municipalities that are acting as demonstrators, that are really front runners, that are testing new learning, new approaches, and through then grants or seed funds. And as many of you know, this year, we have a cohort of municipalities, more than 30 municipalities now under the portfolio journey, under the urban imaginaries. We now have a new launch for municipalities or members in Ukraine and Moldova, dealing with the new realities on the ground there due to the conflict, which is called Respond and Renewal Program. And then coming up next year, we also have the new generation local economic development plans, which we'll also touch upon later in today's launch. So all of the learning also from these, let's say, demonstrators will be anchored or shared also through the Urban Learning Center. Now I will hand it over to our colleagues from Uwe Arup, who is our partner here in devising the Urban Learning Center, to run us through some of the things that we have conceptualized, but also what we want to see forward under this new center of the Mayors for Economic Growth. Over to you, Tim.
Thank you, Tina. Hello, everyone. I'm Tim Hawley. I'm an Associate Director of ARUP, and I'm here to help facilitate the establishment of an Urban Learning Centre for the Mayors for Economic Growth, and to develop the core learning programme that goes with inside that. But just to start with, what do we mean by an Urban Learning Centre? So this is a new learning approach that's designed to work with you and to meet your challenges. So whilst we're drawing a good practice in adult learning, and we want to set something up that's highly relevant, it's adaptive, flexible, and responsive to the learning needs that you have. And the idea is that as you learn, as you go on this learning journey through the Urban Learning Centre and apply what you learn, and through that application and some experimentation and innovation, for you to sort of learn in that process and share what you've learned with the community yourself, and help create some of the learning that's going on, and help over time to build the tacit knowledge and explicit knowledge within the community. So whilst we'll have a learning programme at the core of the Urban Learning Centre, which I shall go through shortly, what we're trying to establish is really a learning ecosystem with a number of components. You got the next slide, please. So what do we mean by a learning ecosystem? Well, a learning ecosystem is an interconnected system of interacting community members at the national and regional level, organised around the practitioner member, you as a learner and practitioner and contributor back into this community. And so it's set up deliberately non-linear, and it's designed to meet a variety of needs on an as-demand basis as well. So you can pull on what you need when you need it. That's the idea. And like an ecological system, it's going to have feedback loops in it, so it'll be adaptive. So as we learn what works well, we can build and reinforce on that, and then also we can learn from what doesn't work well as well, and try and avoid that. I'm just going to quickly go through the key components of the learning ecosystem now. Have the next slide, please. So these are the main components. So at the heart of the Urban Learning Centre is you, the practitioner learning. So we've organised the ecosystem around you as the individual, and also around, you can also engage as a municipality as well, so that you can grow as a team or a cohort. And the next key component is the peer network. So the Urban Learning Centre is going to connect people together as part of a bigger community and a learning network. The next component is around inspiration. So what we want to be able to do with the Urban Learning Centre is provide inspiration, a place where you can showcase projects that have worked, and you can look at what other projects that other people have done and interventions to tell stories, provide solutions, and give you confidence in perhaps some of the new ways of working and some of the innovative practices as well. We also want to ensure that there are knowledge resources available for you. So there'll be a repository of learning resources, tools, experiences, and also being able to connect perhaps to other networks across Europe and beyond. So we will link, as well as sort of creating things locally for you, we will also curate links to other learning resources as well beyond that, so that you can draw on them and get a richer experience. We're going to set up learning pathways, which are a series of formal structured learning modules for new tools and approaches that you can follow to help give you some sort of solid understanding and grounding of some of these new ways of working. There'll be social learning, so which is sort of peer learning, working together, engaging, and so on, having some mentoring and some support. One of the main key components is applied learning. So taking all these things that you've learned through this process and applying them within your municipality and seeing what works. This is really where you're starting to add value and really seeing what works and what doesn't work in a portfolio way. And then the next component is sense making. So this is a process to extract insights from your current portfolio of activities to really see where you can maximize impact, what you should reinforce, what you should change, and so on, and what's effective and what's not. So it's a tool for that capability. And underpinning it all, there's going to be a digital enabler, and which we will come on to in a little bit, but there'll be a platform, an Urban Learning Centre platform, just to help connect the ecosystem together within the cloud, and to act as a repository for resources to help facilitate discussions and contribute to content and facilitate the offline activities. So, because the Urban Learning Centre is both an online and an offline capability. Have the next slide, please. So, just looking at it another way, what is it not? So it's not a sort of physical institution. It's a new way of working and approaching things. It's different from a traditional way of learning. So because we're facing really unprecedented challenges, we need new ways of how we learn. So whilst there will be a content of formal learning, it's not all about this. It's about providing learning resources, about peer-to-peer, it's about mentoring. You know, it's about your organization as well as your individual learning. And it's organized around you. And it's going to require a mindset change in terms of how you work and how you engage with it. And it's going to help provide answers or for you to help you work out how to develop thriving, smart, green, inclusive and vibrant cities and engage with public and private partners and start to sort of introduce a very much a positive change. Can I have the next slide, please? So what can the Urban Learning Centre offer the Mayors for Economic Growth members going forward? So what I've tried to capture here is just a sort of essence of some of the main activities that are going on. So there will be a formal learning structure at the heart of the ULC, but there'll be access to new tools and approaches. There'll be mentoring support that people can draw upon. We will be providing certificates of progress and completion so people can go on a learning journey and get recognised for how they're developing. We'll be providing learning resources. There'll be workshops in country. And there'll be peer-to-peer activities. And most importantly, these things will be set up to work in your local languages as well, so that they really should be accessible for you. So that's the idea of how these sort of things are coming together in the key activities. Have the next slide, please. So what are the sort of learning opportunities that you're going to have? Well, there will be quite a broad range of mix of things, and we're in the process of developing it. There'll be some foundational understanding around basic approaches, around core hard and soft skills that will help you start to develop some of your strategies. But there will be approaches for how you go about visioning and strategic planning. The backbone of the programme is going to be around the new Learning and Economic Development Programme 2.0, the flagship programme of the ULC, which is the new generation of local economic planning development approach. We're going to be covering the green transition, the digital transition, how to smart your cities. We're going to look at how you can access and attract financing. We're going to look at inclusivity. There'll be basic things around how to get the data and analyze that data to give you the insights that you need to make the key decisions, and how to engage better with your municipality and get the feedback that you need from the general public. So, and how that inputs it. So there's going to be a variety of things there, and also how does it impact governance? How are you going to work? A lot of the concepts revolve around working across organisational silos in a more integrated way. So there'll be a different way of thinking around how to get the best out of your municipality to deliver. So that gives you a little bit of a flavour of the sorts of things that we're thinking of, and we're in the process at the moment of developing those modules and courses. Have the next slide, please. We're introducing the concept of learning pathways, and learning pathways is where we will have, as you can see across the top, those icons, the various different sorts of learning journeys or courses. Depending on where you are in the organisation and your role, you're going to have very different needs to learn, and you need to be able to focus on the areas that give you the most benefit dependent on your role. So very simply, and we've just identified three very sort of basic levels here, from the political policy making level at the top through people who are responsible directors of departments within municipalities, down to people who work within those departments. And looking across the different learning opportunities, what we will identify and flag is things that would be really important for your role and you would benefit from, things that would be useful, and things you might be interested in if you have the time. So that gives you a bit of a steer about where to go and how to go across it. And one of the best ways to describe this, it's a bit like we're doing to learning what music streaming has done to the music industry. So the courses could be seen as the albums that get published. The tracks could be the learning modules. And what you're able to do is create your own learning playlist. to, you know, pull together the things that make the most sense for you and you get the most benefit from you as like a learning playlist for which to be able to pull from. So that's the idea. And as we build the capability and what's on offer with the Urban Learning Centre, you can navigate, go to the things that really help you. Cover the next slide, please. So at the end of the presentation, we're going to show you how to link to the Urban Learning Centre, which is going to be part of the UNDP Spark Blue platform. And that'll start to connect you. You know, there is information already in here, and this will build over the next year or so as more and more information gets put on here, and as you engage with it as well, and you're able to bring your thoughts and ideas to today. And we'll present how to engage in that at the end of the presentation. Next slide, please. So what we're presenting to you today is just really the start. You know, it's a concept, we're launching it, it has a platform, and it's going to evolve and develop. And we're already drawing on some of the insights that we've got from some of the pilot areas that we've been working on. And after today's launch, we're going to invite you to participate in a survey, and your input is going to be extremely valuable in helping us to determine how we should develop, you know, where we should prioritize the development of the learning capability so that you get what you need earlier. And we will share the results of those surveys with you so you can see how it looks. And the idea is that, you know, the Urban Learning Centre will start to evolve and unfold over the next 1 to 2 years, starting in the new year. So that's me, thank you. I'll pass the floor back now.
Thank you so much, Tim, for this very comprehensive presentation, very interesting. So we will close now the session on the Urban Learning Centre. Just to recap that this is indeed the beginning, and we will count on the engagement of the municipalities first by signing up to the platform. There is an online survey which is waiting for you on the platform. So I think we will highly value your feedback on the activities that you would like to see on the platform. This is a one-stop shop for all the learning opportunities, and it's also very flexible. So we will do this process all together. Now let's move to the second part of our event. We will present the new generation of the local economic development plans, LEDP 2.0, if I may. This is very complementary to what we just discussed with the Urban Learning Centre. And with the local economic development plans, we want to put this learning process into practice, to really design long-term solutions to address the challenges that each municipality is facing in the region. I will hand over to Tico from the UNDP country office in Georgia, and we will have a very interesting roundtable discussion on the example of the Baghdati municipality in Georgia, which has been testing this new generation of local economic development plan. So Tico, over to you.
Thank you, Tico.
Sorry, guys. Sorry, Tico, just to inform the participants that they can use the interpretation for this part, because I understand you will speak in Georgia. No.
Yeah, I will start in English and then switch to Georgian because we have several panelists in this session. So greetings again from Tbilisi. I'm really happy and honored to lead this particular session, and proud because our municipality, Baghdati, is the first one where the LEDP 2.0 will be piloted. And just to give you a bit background, so just this time last year, we have announced a call for interest, and in very competitive process, Baghdati municipality was selected to be the place where we would develop the first economic plan together with our partners. And we are talking under M4EG about how to make places attractive and for people and of course for investors, and how to help municipalities to succeed in that. So, and we are trying to help our municipalities to rethink their local development and also find new unique pathways of growth. And I think developing proper economic plans will be the one of the tools they can use for achieving that. Just wanted to share with you the video of our first visit together with Arab colleagues in Baghdadi, and about launching the pilot there. I would like to ask Samira to show us the video and just to give you an understanding of the place where we are working right now.
Baghdad's municipality მდებარეობს დასავლეთ საქართველოში. მოსახლეობა დაახლოებით 28,000 მაცხოვრებლით. ესაზღვრება რამოდენიმე მუნიციპალიტეტი. ბოლო პერიოდში კარგად განვითარდა ტურიზმი, ასევე ღვინის ტურიზმი და გასტროტურიზმი. თუ მაგალითად წლების წინ 5 საოჯახო მარანი არსებობდა, დღეს უკვე 60-მდეა, რომლებიც საკმაოდ მაღალ ხარისხიან ღვინოებს აწარმოებენ და გააქვთ ექსპორტზე. ასევე არის მნიშვნელოვანი კურორტი საირმე.
ეს კურორტი თავისი მნიშვნელობით და ცნობადობით მნიშვნელოვანი არა მარტო ბაღდადის მუნიციპალიტეტისთვის, ასევე ქვეყნისთვის. მუნიციპალიტეტში ტურისტული მიმართულებით ასევე გვაქვს 47 კულტურული მემკვიდრეობის ძეგლი. მნიშვნელოვანია დაფინანსება, ინვესტორის მოძიება და უცხოურ ორგანიზაციებთან თანამშრომლობა. მერები ეკონომიკური ზრდისთვის ამ პროექტში პირველი ფაზიდან ვარ ჩართულები. ვფიქრობ, ზოგადად შევქმნათ მუნიციპალიტეტში ადგილობრივი ბიზნესის კიდევ უფრო განვითარებისთვის, შევთავაზოთ ბიზნესით დაინტერესებულ პირებს ბიზნეს სერვისები, რაც მათ განვითარებისთვის შეუწყობს ხელს და კიდევ უფრო დაეხმარებათ, თქვათ, არ დაჭირდებათ ამ სერვისების მისაღებად ქუთაისში ან სხვა დიდ ქალაქში გადაადგილება და მოვაწყოთ, რაც შეიძლება ბიზნეს ხელშემწყობი ინფრასტრუქტურა. აღნიშნული პროექტი, რასაც ქვია მერები ეკონომიკური ზრდისთვის, განავითარებს და ხელშეუწყობს მუნიციპალიტეტში როგორც ეკონომიკური, ისე ფინანსური მდგომარეობის გაუმჯობესებას, რაც ხელშეუწყობს ჩვენ მოქალაქეების კეთილდღეობას და ფინანსურად უფრო გაძლიერებას.
Thank you. So we started this interesting journey together with our partners from ARUP and Climate Kit and Taltech. So I would like to give floor to Luke Thompson from ARUP and to just explain what is the new generation of local economic development plans all about. Luke, the floor is yours.
Thanks, Janetta. Hi, everyone. I'm Luke Thompson. I'm an economist with ARUP. I'm here to help create the principles and the guidance on how to do the new generation of economic plans in LEDP 2.0. So just very briefly, LED 2.0 reflects the new identity of M4EG, and that is combining economic opportunities, vibrant communities, innovative approaches, and really getting communities to think about resilience of their economies in the face of significant change. The transition to green economy in particular, and alignment with the EU Green Deal objectives. A focus on setting a vision for a local authority and grounded in particular in the identity of place and community. resilience and strategic risks as part of planning, and in particular incorporating resilience into the economic plans, and looking at how to ensure increased adaptability of plans, and sort of building learning and monitoring into the implementation of plans as they are rolled out. So we could move to the next slide. The drivers of the new approaches, in particular around these three pillars: green economies, this uptake of new skills, in particular for greener economies, resilience to shocks and stresses around, particularly in relation to climate change, introducing principles around quality of place and civic pride in economic planning. Dealing with complex challenges that many communities are facing around population displacement, aging workforce, climate change, and urbanization. And one of the core principles around more flexible, responsive, and bottom-up approaches to economic plans. So thinking about systems, how each part of a local economy relates to each other, thinking about how the system works, not individual projects in silos. One of the core principles: cooperation and learning from stakeholders, using the ULC to engage networks, investor networks, and peers. Dynamic planning, not static outputs, and use of learning tools through the ULC. If we could move to the next slide. So we are in the pilot phase of the plan, which we've commenced in November, and you'll see there's a timeline through to the end of this month to early next month, particularly where we are working with Baghdati quite closely around implementation of the planning approaches, and we're using the pilot to gather insights and learnings for the final guidance on how to do the new generation of plans, and using all the information we're gathering to build into the platform for the ULC. So if we could move to the next slide, please. Now, these are just some images from the inception meeting, the kickoff meeting, which we had in Georgia in November. In this early stage, we've had the pilot, we've had significant interest from the Georgia network. And in this kickoff meeting, we had 19 municipalities attend the session, and they brought great energy into the session and excitement around adopting these new economic plans. So these cities that attended anticipated great opportunities to emerge from the economic plans, from knowledge exchange amongst the peer network to engaging sort of investor networks, learning from peers, to inspiring new approaches to do economic development. And in particular, the EU Green Deal principles, which we do discuss at length during the kickoff meeting, were well received, and these principles really are resonating with the network on how their adoption will build resilience into the local economy. So we can move to the next slide. I said we've had a lot of energy so far, and we sort of gather some great learnings from the inception meeting, the pilot, and through these early stages of the pilot over the last fortnight. Some early challenges we've observed around collecting statistical data at the municipal level, and some concerns around the lack of funding to enable the implementation of LED 2.0 were noted as one of some of the concerns amongst the 19 municipalities who attended the session. So I could hand back over now to Tinta.
Thank you, Luke. This interesting journey would not be possible without strong commitment from municipality side. So we have here Mayor of Baghdadi municipality, Akhay Nukidze, and I would like to emphasize how his interest in this initiative. I think and enthusiasm from his team ensured that we could really start this interesting process with them. So I would like to give floor to Mr. Kaha Enukidze, the mayor, who will share with us his thoughts about why this plan is important for his municipality and what are the expectations from their side. Thank you. Batono Kaha, għod. Batono Kaha არის მის თქვენი ხმა, მე მგონი მიკროფონი არის და.
გესმით ახლა? ისმის?
დიახ, ისმის.
მოგესალმებით, დიდი მადლობა მოწვევისთვის და კიდევ ერთხელ იმ შესაძლებლობებისათვის, რასაც UNDP-ის მერები ეკონომიკური ზრდის გუნდი ახორციელებს ბაღდადის მუნიციპალიტეტის მხარდასაჭერად. მინდა ვთქვა, რომ ეს არის პილოტური ინიციატივა, რაც მნიშვნელოვანია ბაღდადისთვის და საერთაშორისო საკონსულტაციო კომპანია და არუპის ექსპერტები, ასევე UNDP-ის ქვეყნის გუნდი ქალბატონ თიკოს ხელმძღვანელობით მუშაობს ჩვენს გუნდთან ერთად, რათა შეიმუშაოს ახალი თაობის ეკონომიკური განვითარების გეგმა. ასევე აღსანიშნავია და მნიშვნელოვანია M4G-ის გეგმა, რომელიც ჩვენ დაგვეხმარება უფრო მწვანე, ინკლუზიური და მდგრადი ეკონომიკის განვითარებაში, ასევე მუნიციპალიტეტის საინვესტიციო შესაძლებლობების მიმართ ინტერესის გაღვივებაში და საანდო პარტნიორების მოძიებაში. ასევე მინდა მადლობა ვუთხრა მე თქვენს გუნდს იმისათვის, რომ ესეთი პროფესიონალი, როგორც არის შოთა მურღულია ჩაერთვა ამ საქმეში, ჩვენ დიდი ხანია ვიცნობთ ერთმანეთს და ეს პროფესიონალია თავის საქმის, რაც ასევე უფრო მეტ შესაძლებლობას მოგცემს კიდე რომ გავაკეთოთ სხვადასხვა ინიციატივები და საბოლოო ჯამში მე მინდა დიდი მადლობა ასევე მოგახსენოთ ამ ყველაფრისთვის, რასაც ეს დიდი გუნდი ერთიანობაში აკეთებს ჩვენი მუნიციპალიტეტისთვის.
Thank you very much. Just want to again emphasize that it's really important when working with municipality to have strong and dedicated team from their side. So, and in case of Baghdadi, the mayor has suggested this very representative team of city hall representatives who are and also from the city council, municipal council, so which means that we have all the support also from their side. So I would like to introduce Tina Abuladze, the head of Municipal Economic Development Unit, who is also leading this working team. And she will talk about this pilot process, which is at the very early stage. As Luke mentioned, we started pilot last month. And thoughts about the process, and floor is yours.
პირველ რიგში ბატონ კახასთან ერთად დავიწყებ მადლობით, რომ მადლობა რომ შერჩეული ვართ ამ პილოტირების პროცესისთვის. ჩვენთვის მართლაც ძალიან მნიშვნელოვანი გამოცდილება და საბოლოოდ მიღებული შედეგი მნიშვნელოვანი იქნება, რამდენადაც ჩვენ ვიქნებით პირველი, რომელიც დავწერთ ახალი თაობის ეკონომიკური განვითარების გეგმას, რაც ახალ შესაძლებლობებს თავაზობს მუნიციპალიტეტს თავის თავში. ჩვენ ამ ეტაპზე ვართ ესე იგი ძირითადი სხვადასხვა მიმართულებებით ინფორმაციის, სტატისტიკური ინფორმაციის შეგროვების, ასევე სხვადასხვა დაინტერესებული მხარეების ჩართულობის პროცესზე. ჩვენთვის ძალიან მნიშვნელოვანია ის მიდგომა, ახალი მიდგომა, რომელიც მეთოდოლოგიის შესაბამისად, რომელსაც ვახორციელებთ, ესაა სხვადასხვა მიმართულებით უფრო ფართო ჭრილში დავინახოთ ადგილობრივი ეკონომიკური განვითარება, რომ უფრო ფართო ჭრილში შევხედოთ იმ საფრთხეებს, ვთქვათ, ეს იქნება არა მარტო შევხედოთ, ვთქვათ, ლოკალურად რა იქნება შემოფერხებელი გარემოებები, ასევე დავინახოთ ის გლობალური საფრთხეები და მათი გავლენა ადგილობრივ ეკონომიკურ განვითარებაზე და სხვადასხვა, ვთქვათ, მიმართულებებზე, რომ მაქსიმალურად იქნას შემცირებული ამ საფრთხეები და გავლენები, ისეთ დავსახოთ ქმედებები. და ვფიქრობთ, რომ ეს იქნება ძალიან მნიშვნელოვანი არის ძალიან საინტერესო პროცესი, ფაქტობრივად ეს ჩვენთვის სწავლის პროცესიცაა, რომ სწავლობთ, როგორ ვაკეთოთ ეს უფრო ახალი თაობის გეგმა ბევრ იმ მიმართულებით გვაფიქრებს და ვფიქრობთ, რომ შედეგიც უნდა დაიდოს შესაბამისი. მადლობა.
Thank you very much. As a result of our pilot, we will have two key products. One will be the new generation of local economic plan of Baghdad municipality, and another will be the methodology. So at the follow-up stage, this experience of Baghdadi will be shared with other signatories of M4EG through peer-to-peer learning process. So I'm sure Baghdadi team will be willing to engage in such a learning process. Thank you for your interest, and yes, I think Thibault, we can close this session and this about LEDP process, unless colleagues have to add something. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Tiko.
ბატონო კახა არის მის მიკროფონი დაიწყო.
კიდევ ერთხელ მინდა მადლობა მოგახსენოთ და ვახსენო ორიოდე სიტყვით ჩემი გუნდი, რომელიც წარმოადგენს ბაღდადის მუნიციპალიტეტის მერიას, ეს არის როგორც ინფრასტრუქტურა, ასევე სოციალური, ასევე ტურიზმი, ადმინისტრაციის სამსახურები ჩართული, რომლებიც წარმოადგენენ სწორედ იმ გუნდს, რომელმაც უნდა შეიტანოს გადატეხა ბაღდადის ვთქვათ ეკონომიკურ ფინანსურ განვითარებაში. თქვენთან ერთად, რა თქმა უნდა, ჩვენ მზადა ვართ დღე და ღამის მანძილზე, მთელი წლის მანძილზე, რომ თქვენი შენიშვნები, თქვენი ინიციატივები, თქვენი რეკომენდაციები გავითვალისწინოთ და ბაღდადში განახორციელოთ ის პროექტები, რასაც დავუშვათ თქვენ, რაც დავუშვათ წამოვა თქვენი მხრიდან. დიდი მადლობა კიდევ ერთხელ.
Thank you very much, Mr. Enukidze, for this. We will be very happy to support you and to work hand in hand with your team in the next years, indeed. We are now approaching the end of this event, but we still have one session. We will discuss the next steps. What is next after this event? What should we do in the next weeks? And I would like to give the floor to Semira, and she will guide you through the next stages, including the survey on the Urban Learning Center platform. Semira, over to you.
Thank you, Thibault. So I will guide you through the survey and the Spark platform to be a brief introduction to that one. And as Tim and Thibault already mentioned, the Spark, the survey We need your learn to see your learning needs and what, so we can, according to that, we can model the platform. So as the Urban Learning Center, we provide learning modules and resources around a range of relevant topics available for our members, partners, and EU delegations. The purpose of this survey is to better understand your learning needs as part of the Mayors for Economic Growth community. So we kindly ask you to take the survey as it is an opportunity to have your say and co-create the structure and content of the Urban Learning Center in order to make it to best meet your needs. In the chat, you have the links for the survey, and it should take no more than 10 to 15 minutes to complete. Your answers will be confidential, of course, and the survey will close on the 13th December this year. And further assessment needs with focus groups and interviews may follow, and the results of the survey will be available on the Urban Learning Center platform. And let me show you the Urban Learning Center platform. So I will change my screen here. So the second step here is the Urban Learning Center. And we kindly ask you to register for this one in order to have access to the page and to the learning modules and the knowledge bank that and the knowledge resources that we will have here. So more updates on the Urban Learning Center will be shared on this web page, including details about the first modules that will come in 2023. And with time, further platforms, functionalities, and content will be built. I will briefly showcase how you can access the platform. So in the chat, you will also find the link to the Urban Learning Center. And when you access the page, you're able to register. It will say log in or sign up here. But you can also go to this one. Also, when you access the Urban Learning Center platform, there is a possibility to change language, and the page will translate to the desired language. So you do it in the top right corner up here. Also, in addition to joining the M4EG network, you are able to also join the community, country communities. So here you will have the opportunity to facilitate discussions and engage in peer-to-peer exchange also on national level. So let me see if there is anything else. And also, again, you can find the survey here, and it will be open until the 13th of December again. So we will follow up with more details on the Urban Learning Center platform, how to engage and so on, and that will be more in the beginning of the coming year. So we will have more introductions and so on. But for now, we again kindly ask you to sign in, register here, and sign to the Mayors for Economic Growth Network and also your country communities. So thank you. Back to you, Thibault.
Thank you so much, Samira. I see that we are a bit ahead of our schedule, so we have some time for Q&A. So I would like to invite the participants to ask questions, either in the chat or to raise their hands. Please don't be shy. We will be happy to take the questions. And we will be monitoring the chat. So it seems everything was crystal clear. So if you, I will let some time for people, but let me use this occasion to wrap up. Mustafa, I see you raised your hand from UNDP in Ukraine. The floor is yours, Mustafa. Please go ahead.
Yeah, first of all, my congratulations, and I would like to thank all the speakers for excellent presentations. I have one small question to the colleagues from Baghdadi municipality on their new LADP. I'm just curious how this LADP, how do you see the place of this document in the system of strategic planning documents for municipality, and how it is linked to other local or maybe regional development strategies, if you see these linkages? Thank you.
გიპასუხებთ. რა თქმა უნდა, როცა დავიწყეთ დოკუმენტზე მუშაობა, პირველი ნაბიჯი ის არის, რომ ჩვენ გავაკეთეთ ანალიზი თუ რა ხდება იმ მოქმედ სტრატეგიებში თუ სხვადასხვა დოკუმენტებში და რა თქმა უნდა, განვიხილავთ მასთან შესაბამისობაში ამ დოკუმენტს, როგორც ვთქვათ, ამ სტრატეგიულ დოკუმენტს რა მაექნება რეგიონის, ქვეყნის დოკუმენტების შორის, ასევე საერთაშორისო რატიფიცირებულ ხელშეკრულებებთან, ვთქვათ, რა იქ რა შესაძლებლობაა, რა გავლენაა. რა თქმა უნდა, ამ გავლენებს და შესაძლებლობებს განვიხილავთ და ამის მიხედვით ხდება ამ დოკუმენტის შემუშავება. ეს დოკუმენტი ფაქტობრივად იქნება იმის გაანალიზებაზე დაყრდნობილი, რაც არსებული შესაძლებლობაა ქვეყნის შიგნით და რა ვთქვათ, მიდგომებია, თანამედროვე მიდგომები რა არის, ვთქვათ, გამოწვევებთან გლობალური თუ ადგილობრივი გამოწვევების საბრძოლველად და ვთქვათ, როგორ ფიქრობს ქვეყანა თუ რეგიონი ამის გადაწყვეტას.
Let me add to Tina's response from the legal framework of the country. Probably, Mustafa, you are also interested in that the Code of Local Self-Government defines competencies of local authorities. So it clearly states that municipalities, local authorities are entitled to develop local development plans in any area they find it important and useful. And as part of the decentralization strategy, the local policy planning is also part of the decentralization reform. So it is pretty much, municipalities are pretty much encouraged to put more efforts in that and to look at the new development opportunities at the local level and express that in planning documents. So there is one umbrella document, municipal midterm development document, which is quite overall, which assesses overall situation in municipalities and key development areas. But to that document, LADP could be easily linked, as it will be focusing on the particular economic development as we understand it under M4G. Yeah, this is what I wanted to add. So it's completely under local authorities' competence to develop this kind of plans.
Thank you very much, Tina, and thank you very much, Tiko.
Thank you, colleagues. Please, yeah. I will let the colleagues from UNDP answer, but I would suggest that, yeah, I mean, and this will be posted online. Tina, maybe you want to add something?
Hi, Thibault. No, I think we were just responding to Svetlana in the chat. So yes, we will follow up with through the national networks, the Facebook sites that we have at the national level, but also over email to all the members, where we will share then the survey, the recording, and also, of course, explain how to access the new online Urban Learning Center platform on Spark Blue. So we will be following up with all the members over the next couple of days.
Great. Okay. If there is no other question, I suggest that we wrap up. I wanted to thank all the participants again for joining this event this morning. We had more than 130 online participants, which is an extremely good turnout. And I think the presentations on the Urban Learning Center and on the local economic development plans were very important, because we are at the end of the year. We still have some task to do by the end of the year, but this paves the way for a very exciting beginning of 2023. And we will be looking forward to working in cooperation with all the municipalities of the network and exploring synergies also with the other EU-funded programs in the region, such as the Covenant of Mayors, for instance. So let me stop here. Let me thank again the colleagues from UNDP for organizing this event and for following up with the colleagues online. And I wish you a good rest of the day. Thank you very much for joining again. Bye-bye.
Thank you. And thank you, Thibault.
Thank you.
Have a nice day.
Bye.
Thank you. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.